All right, so have you heard about this TellMore.ai? What it could mean for business software?
Yeah, it's
I mean, I have,
Mhm.
especially after seeing that LinkedIn post from the co-founder,
Oh yeah.
founder name. This guy, I mean, he's got some serious cred in enterprise software.
Right.
So when he starts making these bold claims about a Cambrian explosion of AI, well, it piqued my interest.
Yeah, and it's fascinating, right? Because he's not just talking about like incremental improvements.
Right.
He's suggesting we're on the verge of a massive shift in how businesses use data and build software.
Yeah.
It's almost like, back to the Cambrian explosion,
Right.
where life on Earth suddenly just diversified like crazy.
Okay, so maybe he's laying it on a bit thick with the whole prehistoric analogy.
Yes.
But I gotta admit, the pace of AI development does feel kind of mind-blowing right now.
Right. It seems like every day there's like a new breakthrough.
Yeah.
But here's what's interesting. This founder, he keeps hammering on this idea of business value, right?
Mm.
Which makes me think he's seen a lot of AI projects fail to deliver on their promises.
Yeah, I get that. Like, AI for AI's sake isn't gonna cut it in the business world.
Right.
It's got to solve real problems, actually make companies more efficient, more competitive, show me the money.
Exactly. Show me the money. And that leads us to his next point.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing about the curse of big data,
Mm-hmm.
he's basically saying that companies have been drowning in data for years,
Right.
but they haven't really figured out how to effectively use it to drive business value.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that before.
Right.
But hasn't there been some progress? I mean, we've got these huge data platforms like Databricks and Snowflake.
Yeah.
Are they not solving the problem?
So they're definitely part of the solution,
Yeah.
but they're also, they're incredibly complex and expensive to implement.
Right.
Think about it. You need specialized engineers, data scientists, and a whole lot of computing power just to manage the data, let alone extract insights from it.
So is it like having this massive oil field, but you can't afford to build the refinery?
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
To turn it into something actually useful, right?
Yeah.
And that's where TellMore.ai comes in.
Okay.
They're claiming to have smallified the problem
Okay.
by focusing on specific business needs and building these tailored solutions.
All right. So less boil the ocean, more find the specific fish you want.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it.
Targeted approach.
But how do they actually do that? I mean, their website talks about knowledge graphs, ontologies, semantic layers. It's starting to sound a bit like AI jargon bingo.
Yeah, no, it can definitely get overwhelming with all the terminology.
Yeah.
So let's try to break it down. Imagine you're like a marketing manager for a clothing retailer, right?
Okay.
A knowledge graph. This could map all your products, suppliers, customer demographics, basically everything related to your business.
Yep.
Ontologies then would define the relationships between those elements, like product X is supplied by supplier Y, or customer Z bought product X and also viewed product A.
Okay.
And then semantic layers.
Mm.
They add context, things like seasonality, trends, competitor data, all the stuff that helps the AI understand the why behind the data.
So it's not just about having a ton of data.
Right.
It's about understanding the connections and the meaning within that data.
Exactly. It's all about the relationships and the context. And that's where TellMore.ai claims to be different.
Okay.
By combining all these elements, they say they can create AI solutions that are much more focused and effective than traditional big data approaches. And here's where it gets really interesting. They claim to be able to generate these disposable applications on demand.
Disposable application. Okay, now you've really got my attention.
Right.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Is it like software that self-destructs after you use it?
Not quite, but it's almost as radical.
Okay.
So the founder gives this example of generating a mini application for a warehouse manager based on like low inventory levels, right?
Okay.
Basically, the AI identifies a problem, it designs a specific solution,
Yeah.
and generates this custom application just to address it.
Mm-hmm.
Then, once the problem's solved, the application can be disposed of.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing. So it's like having a personal software developer at your beck and call, creating tools on the fly.
It is.
Yeah.
And if you think about it,
Yeah.
it could have huge implications for how businesses operate and the skills they'll need in the future.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this TellMore.ai thing is causing a stir.
Yeah.
It's not just another AI tool. It's potentially a whole new way of building and using software.
Right. And it all hinges on their ability to deliver on these promises.
Right.
I mean, one of the biggest hurdles, right? Eliminating these AI hallucinations.
Yeah, right.
Where it's generating like incorrect or just nonsensical output.
Yeah.
It's a pretty common problem in AI.
Yeah.
It could be like a major deal breaker for businesses that need reliable, accurate information.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, if you're relying on AI to make decisions that could, cost your company money
Yeah.
or even, put people at risk, you need to be absolutely sure it's not going to, spit out some random gibberish and send you down the wrong path.
Think about it this way. You wouldn't trust a financial advisor who only got their numbers right half the time.
Right, right.
You need someone who's consistently accurate, trustworthy. It's the same with AI, right?
Mm.
If it's going to be a valuable tool for business, it needs to be right, like 100% of the time.
So how does TellMore.ai claim to achieve this level of accuracy? Like, what's their secret sauce?
Well, one thing they highlight is that their system is LLM agnostic,
Okay.
meaning they're not tied to any one particular large language model, which is the underlying technology, right?
Right.
Behind a lot of these generative AI tools.
Okay, so they're not putting all their eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Exactly, exactly.
Which makes sense, especially since this AI landscape is changing so quickly.
Exactly.
Hmm.
By being LLM agnostic, they can adapt to new developments, integrate the best available LLMs into their system.
Right.
Think of it as like having a universal remote control for AI.
Yeah.
They can switch between different models depending on the task at hand.
Okay, that's pretty smart. It gives them a lot of flexibility, and it ensures that they're always using the most, cutting edge technology. So what about this Gen revolution he keeps talking about? What's so special about the Gen part of Gen AI?
Right, so Gen refers to generative AI. It's all about creating new content, whether it's text, images, music, code, you name it. And it's not just about creating things from scratch. It's about augmenting and enhancing existing content.
I see, I see. Okay, so I'm starting to see the possibilities here.
Yeah.
If AI can generate code based on, business needs, that could drastically speed up the software development process.
Okay, right, yeah.
And, it could make software more accessible to people who don't have, coding skills.
Yeah, precisely. Imagine a world where you can simply describe what you want a software application to do, and the AI builds it for you. It's like having a magic wand that can just turn your ideas into reality.
That's pretty amazing. But, it also makes me wonder, if AI can generate software that easily, what happens to all the software developers out there? I mean, are their jobs just going to become obsolete?
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But I think it's more likely that the role of the software developer will evolve rather than disappear entirely. AI can automate certain tasks, but it still needs human guidance and oversight. Think of it like the relationship between a pilot and autopilot, right?
Right.
The autopilot can handle a lot of the routine tasks, but the pilot's still there to make critical decisions and ensure everything runs smoothly.
That makes sense. So it's not so much about replacing humans. It's more about, augmenting their capabilities.
Exactly, like giving them this sort of superpowered assistant.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the real value of Gen AI lies, in its ability to free up humans from these tedious, repetitive tasks so they can focus on more creative, strategic work.
Okay, that's reassuring. I'd much rather work with AI than, be replaced by it.
All right.
But let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about, the business side of things. The founder is pretty proud of the fact that, TellMore.ai is bootstrapped, meaning they haven't taken any outside investment.
Right.
Do you think that's a viable path for other startups in the AI space, or are they just an anomaly?
It's definitely, I would say, a more challenging path.
Yeah.
But I think it's becoming increasingly viable, especially for startups that are focused on generating revenue, like from day one.
Right.
TellMore.ai's model of creating these disposable applications that solve specific business problems, I think this can be a key factor in their ability to bootstrap.
Okay.
They're essentially creating a product that sells itself without needing a huge marketing budget or a lengthy sales cycle.
It's interesting. It's like they're building a business, one micro app at a time.
Yeah.
Each one generating revenue and fueling the growth of the company.
Exactly. And it's a model that could be replicated in other industries as well.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where you could, get a custom-built website, marketing campaign, even a legal document generated on demand, all powered by AI.
Wow. That's pretty mind-blowing. It's like the appification of everything.
Yeah.
Instead of buying these big, clunky software suites, you could just, subscribe to a service that creates exactly what you need when you need it.
Precisely. And that's precisely what the founder of TellMore.ai is betting on.
Yeah.
He believes that this shift towards, disposable applications, it's going to fundamentally change the way businesses operate and consume software.
So is he right? I mean, is TellMore.ai truly a game changer, or are they just, overhyping their capabilities?
Well, it's certainly early days,
Yeah.
and there's still a lot of unknowns,
Yeah.
but I think they're onto something big. This combination of, their focus on business value, their unique approach to data management,
Right.
and their ability to generate these custom applications on demand, it gives them a significant competitive advantage.
One thing that really struck me about the founder's post was, his belief that enterprises can monetize their data with AI.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a controversial topic,
it is.
but it's definitely something that's getting a lot of attention lately.
Right. It's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
On the one hand, there's this huge opportunity for businesses to unlock the value hidden within their data
Yeah.
and create new revenue streams.
Right.
But on the other hand, there are legitimate concerns about privacy, transparency, the
Mm.
potential for misuse.
Yeah, I get that. It's like data is the new oil, right? But we need to be careful not to spill it all over the place and create an environmental disaster.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
It highlights the need for responsible data governance and ethical frameworks around AI. We need to ensure that data is used in a way that benefits society as a whole, not just a select few.
Absolutely. But let's zoom out for a moment. Let's think about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
If AI can truly generate software on demand, what other possibilities are unlocked? How could this change the way we work, the way we live?
Yeah, that's where it gets really exciting.
Yeah.
And honestly, a little bit overwhelming to even contemplate.
Yeah.
We could see a world where, education is personalized to each student's learning style, healthcare is tailored to our individual needs, cities adapt to our preferences in real time.
Right.
The possibilities are literally limitless.
It's almost like, science fiction is becoming reality right before our eyes.
It is, it is.
And it all starts with data. Data is the fuel that powers AI.
Right.
And the way we manage and use that data is going to determine the course of this whole revolution.
It's like the founder said, it's no longer write code. It's build generate based on what business needs.
Yeah.
AI is becoming the new language of software creation.
Right.
And that has the potential to, transform every aspect of our lives.
Okay, that's pretty mind-blowing. So what does this all mean for, someone like me, or for you for that matter?
Yeah.
How do we prepare for this AI-powered future? What skills do we need to develop?
Well, I think the most important skill is adaptability.
Okay.
The world's changing faster than ever before.
Yeah.
And the only way to keep up is to be willing to learn new things, embrace new technologies, constantly evolve.
So it's not just about learning to code, it's about learning to learn.
Exactly. And it's about, developing those critical thinking skills so you can evaluate information, separate fact from fiction, and make informed decisions in a world that's, increasingly complex and uncertain.
Okay, that makes sense. But it also sounds a bit daunting. Like, how do you even begin to prepare for a future that's so unpredictable?
It is daunting, but it's also incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
This is a time of, unprecedented opportunity. And those who are willing to embrace change and learn new skills will be the ones who thrive in this AI-powered world.
I like that. So it's not about, being afraid of the future. It's about, being excited by the possibilities.
Exactly. And remember, this is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
The AI revolution is just getting started.
Right.
There's still so much to learn, explore, discover.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. This whole disposable applications concept.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it feels a bit, I don't know, flimsy.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, how do you build a sustainable business on software that's, designed to just disappear?
I think the key here is to think about disposable, not as like cheap or throwaway,
Right.
but as like hyper efficient.
Okay.
Think about it this way.
Yeah.
Right now, businesses are stuck with these like massive software suites
Yeah.
that try to do everything, but they end up being, bloated, complex, and expensive to maintain.
Yeah, totally. It's
Yeah.
like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly.
You end up with a lot of wasted space and frustration.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But with these disposable applications, you're essentially creating a custom-fit solution for each specific problem.
Right.
It's like, imagine a surgeon who uses a different scalpel for every surgery
Oh, okay.
instead of trying to make one do-it-all knife.
Okay, I see. Right.
Right. So it's not about building software that's, flimsy.
Right.
It's about building software that's perfectly tailored to the task at hand.
Right.
And once that task is done, you don't need to keep that software around cluttering up your system.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And this ties back to, the founder's emphasis on business value.
Mm-hmm.
By creating these hyper-efficient solutions,
Yeah.
TellMore.ai claims they can deliver, a much higher return on investment than these traditional software vendors.
Okay.
You're not paying for a bunch of features you'll never use. You're paying for a solution that solves your specific problem quickly and effectively.
Okay, I see the appeal. But it also raises some interesting questions about, like, the future of the software industry as a whole.
Right.
If we move to a world of disposable applications, what does that mean for these big software companies?
Right.
Like your Microsofts, your SAPs, your Oracles.
Yeah.
Are they just going to become dinosaurs?
It's certainly possible, right? I mean, if TellMore.ai and other companies can deliver on this promise of generating custom software on demand,
Yeah.
it could really disrupt, the traditional software market
Yeah.
in a major way.
Yeah.
Think about it. Why would you spend millions of dollars on a massive ERP system when you can get a custom-built solution for, a fraction of the cost?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like the difference between, buying a house and renting an apartment.
I guess.
Sometimes you just need that flexibility and affordability of, a rental, even if it means, sacrificing some of the bells and whistles of ownership.
Exactly.
No.
And in a business environment that's, increasingly focused on agility and cost efficiency, I think we're going to see more and more companies opting for this kind of like rental model of software.
This has been a real eye-opener,
Yeah.
It's made me realize that we're not just talking about a new technology here.
Right.
We're talking about like a fundamental shift in how we think about software and how we use it to solve business problems.
It's a paradigm shift for sure.
Yeah.
And it's all happening at like lightning speed.
Right.
Remember the founder's analogy to the Cambrian explosion?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're right in the middle of it, and it's both exhilarating and a little bit terrifying.
It's funny. When we started this deep dive, I was mostly interested in, TellMore.ai as a company.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking about like the bigger picture.
Right.
What does this all mean for the future of work, for the economy, for like society as a whole?
Those are the big questions, aren't they?
Yeah.
And honestly, no one has all the answers yet.
Right.
But that's what makes this so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're on the cusp of something truly transformative.
Right.
And it's really up to us to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
So, what's the takeaway for our listeners?
Yeah.
What should they be doing to, prepare for this AI-powered future?
I would say the most important thing is to stay curious.
Okay.
Keep learning, keep exploring, and don't be afraid to, experiment.
Yeah.
The AI landscape is evolving so rapidly, so just be a lifelong learner.
Okay.
And remember, the future is not something that happens to us.
Right.
It's something we create.
I love that. Embrace the change, stay curious, and let's build this future together.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah,
We've covered a lot of ground today,
we have.
but this is just the beginning of the conversation.
Yep.
The world of AI is vast and constantly changing.
It is.
So stay tuned for more deep dives as we continue to explore this fascinating and ever-evolving landscape.
I'm excited.
Until next time.